Hello everyone. Today we are going to see another cardiovascular disorder, that is myocardial infarction. As we all are aware, as such the whole of the system requires blood supply, and oxygen which is being supplied through the blood to the whole system is also concerned that the myocardial tissues are more prone, they require oxygen. But somewhere the coronary arteries or the blood vessels which are getting blocked will become a hurdle to supply the oxygen and blood to the myocardial tissues. So let's have a look towards the pathophysiology. So myocardial infarction, myocardial. So it is related to the myocardium, that is the layer of the heart, and the myocardial tissues which are being getting infarcted due to the blockage of oxygenation. Likewise, if there is a lack of oxygen, so myocardial tissues oxygen demand will increase. So that is why that will be requiring, and there will be an imbalance between the oxygen demand and supply. So we have to look forward that what can be done to increase. Okay, so in that case, if the blood supply is not enough or sufficient, the myocardial tissues will get infarct and they will get die. And due to that, depolarization and repolarization of myocardial tissues will stop somewhere. So, likewise, we have to see that how can we help out the myocardial tissues to. So in certain seconds, more than 500 cells are getting died. And we have to work on that how we can encourage the blood supply to the blood vessels. And that is why we have to go for any surgical procedures. Now we can see that what is causing the narrowing of these blood vessels. So atherosclerosis conditions, the normal blood flow which is having a normal artery diameter, but as soon as at the middle stage of the myocardial infarction, when it start developing, atherosclerotic deposition in the blood vessels will start. So there will be an abnormal blood flow. As there is a deposition of atherosclerosis, the blood flow diameter have somewhere become an obstacle. Now is of it is going to the later stage, cholesterol in the artery wall will again getting aggregated with the platelet counts. So all the blood vessels which was having certain kind of diameter to make the blood flow with the restricted amount is also getting totally stopped. So we can see that the later stage of atherosclerosis, it is totally getting abnormal flow, and the cholesterol in the blood and arterial wall, blood wall or arterial wall is getting deposited with the whole bunch of layer, and with the platelet aggregation will start. So how it is difficult for a myocardial tissue to get the lack of nutrition. Now, just like hypertension, we have various causes for that. Let's have a look. First is stress stimulant, like due to caffeine, or it is due to smoking, which is leading to vasoconstrictions, that we can see that is vasospasm is occurring and it is narrowing the blood vessels and the blood flow. This is being getting up obstacle and rupturing of the blood vessels. Next is obesity, where BMI is over 25, which is again leading cause. Next is diabetes and hypertensive like conditions, which is again leading to the vascular vasospasmic. Next is diet high in cholesterol, that is especially in LDL, and that is a bad cholesterol which is becoming an obstacle and it is getting deposited, and which is called as plaque. So plaque is again ultimately depositing and narrowing the blood vessels or the coronary vessels to obstacle and supply the oxygen to the myocardial tissue will be disrupted because of this. And lastly, there is a major problem with the other thing is African and American male people age over 50 and men are more in women. So these are the conditions which we have to see, that differentiation in the race, and due to the different kind of age groups or gender differentiation, which will also be the leading cause for the atherosclerotic condition and myocardial infarction, which is ultimately called as heart attack. Okay, as soon as this blockage will occur, rupture will occur, we can see that heart is not getting enough of supply. There is an infarction and the blood clots will circulate. This plaques will become in a clot formation and they will circulate into the blood vessels. If this blood vessels is not getting enough of supply and this thrombus is circulating throughout the body, so these blood vessels are being only blocked by this blood clots and they are blocking the oxygen to supply to the further myocardial tissue. So we can see that these are getting blocked and that is why the myocardial tissues are dying. And due to dying of the cells, troponin 1 is being released due to the trauma of the heart cells which has been died. Now we can see that due to this ischemic heart disease is developing. Three conditions are developing. So first of all, ischemic heart disease which is narrowing, that means low oxygen supply is there, so it can be divided as coronary arterial disease which is being classified according to the size and the diameters of the blood vessels. So we can count down as a first, it is narrowing, it is in a normal size, but then after it goes on narrowing and the stable angina is there which is somewhere okay. But in acute coronary syndrome, unstable angina develop which is a dangerous conditions where it is totally blocking the blood vessels and it is also dangerous and it can be fatal. This myocardial infarction, heart totally dies and there is total blockage of the vessels or the supply of oxygen and blood to the heart muscles. So that is why how the ischemic heart disease is supplying and it is narrowing the heart vessels, and that is why low oxygen and low blood supply. Therefore, acute coronary syndrome, which is encompassed of unstable angina and myocardial infarction, is ultimately showing that it is leading to some kind of dangerous condition. So, it is an unsafe angina. Unstable means it's an unsafe angina, which is leading to total blockage, or somewhere it is partially blocking the heart vessels and the myocardial tissue is getting lack of supply, that is lacking in the oxygen. So it is ultimately a disease which is concerned with the low oxygen status, and that is why somewhere we are experiencing pain during the angina, which is a symptom of myocardial infarction. Let's have a look towards the sign and symptoms. The keywords are sudden, crushing, radiating, and heavy pressure pain towards the chest or the sternal region. Though where are the location of the pain? Pain at the substernal chest pain that we can see here in the red color. Jaw pain, that is towards the jaw. Then left arm, mid back, shoulder pain. Heartburn, which can be mistaken with the epigastric pain. Shortness of breath, which is dyspnea or labored breathing. Nausea and vomiting and abdominal pain, that is again felt with the mistaken of epigastric pain, or somewhere it is mistaken with the stomach upset. Lastly, sweating and diaphoresis occurs with the patient because of too much of exhaustion and exertion. The patient feels very uncomfortable, he is sweating with the pain and he is uncomfortable to resist the pain. Due to that, the skin becomes pale, cool and dusky. So this will again lead to the pale cool skin, which will be the symptomatic conditions in myocardial infarction. So we have to look and forward the things, we have to control the things, we have even the diabetic conditions, which is again leading to blockage of the vascular neuropathies occurs, and that is again the problem for the patient and raising the cardiac problems. Looking towards the diagnostic investigations, the patients are having different kind of diagnostic evaluation. One of it is we are very commonly taking is electrocardiogram. So this is the normal ECG reading. So we can see the waves, so P waves, which is the arterial contraction, which is leading to P wave, and then there is a pause during the AV nodal, and then coming to the ventricles, when ventricle contracts, the PQRS wave will be QRS waves will be formed, that is in the peak form, that shows that there is an appropriate contraction of the ventricles, and then after there is a pause, and then T wave will be formed, and that will be showing that ventricular repolarization will occur. But in case of myocardial infarction, ST elevation will be seen, as there is a damage to the myocardial tissues and there is no oxygen to the myocardial tissues. Similarly, it can even feel like ST depression can be there due to low oxygen. There will be a depression, so we can see that there is various kind of wave formation. If there is total lack of oxygen, ST elevation will be there. This is P wave, this is QRS complex, and this is T wave. So ST elevation will be there in case of no oxygen. In case of oxygen lacking or totally absent, there will be an ST depression. So hope these waves are clear, because we are considering the ECG as a common diagnostic evaluation. And the ST elevation will get normal in case the reperfusion occurs. So we just consider the cells as a fish which is not getting oxygen and they are dying due to the deprivation of oxygen supply. And simultaneously, if there is reperfusion, they will come again back into the normal conditions. So we can see that there will be a various chemical composition that will variate in the blood. So we will look that in blood vessels, when the cells are dying and there is the raise, which is the troponin 1, will be the first indicator for the trauma heart cells, which are being dead cells which is releasing the troponin. And simultaneously, these are the first indicators to show that there is an damage to the tissues. And other labs are like CKMB and CRP. So hope this is clear. This lab investigations is very important in myocardial infarction. Troponin 1 will be the first indicator and the other will be the second indicators. Such a patient is really in a pathetic condition, or it is really suffering very fatal conditions. So our goal is to supply the oxygen back or reperfuse back. So within 45 minutes it has to be recovered back. So we are taking the patient to the cath labs toward the recovery of the patient. So as soon as the patient has been transferred to the cath labs, we have various other also surgical interventions that can be worked on. So immediately they are being transferred to the cath labs, and there are other procedures which can be done considering ABC. So angioplasty, we are inserting the balloon or the catheter to clear the clog. Then bypass graft, we can take a graft and we can concern and we can replace the by the artificial graft taking from the other sides, and cut out the fatty blockage, that is end arterectomy can be done. So this blockage can be cleared very nicely. So this is what our goal is, to reperfuse the amount of blood supply. So we are now well aware that there is an acute coronary syndrome by detecting the electrocardiogram, ST elevation, which we talked before, and non-ST elevation. Both of this will have a cardiac markers which was being released with the dead cells, and the negative one with the unstable angina, and the positive one with the myocardial infarction. So if the cardiac markers has raised, that means myocardial infarction is there, and STEMI, that is ST elevation MI will be there, and there will be non-ST MI. So how can we treat the patient? So we have to start with a support system, comprehensive therapy. We have to start salvage the myocardium. We can understand that what is salvaging the myocardium. We have lack of perfusion to the myocardial tissue. That means the amount of myocardial getting the oxygen has been jeopardized, and due to that, coronary occlusion has occurred and leading to the infarction. Thrombolytics can be given. These are the agents which will prevent the thrombus formation, and we have to prevent the complication which is leading to the various kind of MI. Then antiarrhythmic drugs can be given. PTCA can be done, and CABG, which we have talked in the previous one slide, and then we have seen that how we can go for the interventional therapies. So thrombolytic treatment will again increase the perfusion. They will just clear out the thrombus, the atheromas which are been clogging the blood vessels, and thrombus which is clogging. So they will try to clear out the blood vessels. Again, through the catheter, We can suppress the atheromas at the side of the vessels with the inflation of the balloon, that will again suppress, and then they will increase the diameter of the vessels to clear out. So we can see here the catheter is being inserted, a closed stent is there during insertion, and it has been expanded once it has been inserted, and due to expansion this plaque deposition will get suppressed and the diameters will widen the arteries, and this plaque will be compressed. So that is why that narrowed arteries will be widened arteries. So we can see here simultaneously in bypass graft, the coronary artery bypass graft, what we take, we just remove the if the complete blockage is there, that is 90 to 100% blockage is there, we have to remove that particular part and we have to graft another part taking from another. So we can take a lima rima, and that can be the mammary artery or right and left mammary artery, it can be the femoral graft, we can place it here. We have to make a patient's care plan. They are really very crucial. So chest pain and other anginal symptoms related to myocardial ischemia, that is the pain is a major thing which we have to cover up, as we are aware that pain is due to lack of oxygen and cells are about to die. So infarction has to be stopped. Then activity intolerance is there, then we have to see that altered tissue perfusion is there, that is why activity intolerance is there. Unstable vital signs, that might be due to the myocardial muscle damage or arrhythmia will occur because myocardial contraction, that is repolarization and depolarization activities, have substantially somewhere become a hurdle for the ejection of the blood. Then knowledge deficit and shortness of breath and language culture barriers can be the priority nursing care. What can be done? We have to manage the pain, salvaging the affected myocardium, prompt and appropriate monitoring, bed rest can be taken, or that will enhance the oxygen supply to the blood tissues or myocardial tissues. Then ongoing investigations has to be done regularly. General treatment, psychological support, health education, and cardiac rehabilitation can be taken. Emergency care, we have to call for the emergency department 108. We have to inform the correct location. Exact sign and symptoms has to be detected. Cough and deep breath exercise has to be enhanced. Lie down or sitting down. We have to give nitroprusside tablet for the vasodilation, so the diameter of the blood vessels can be increased for spontaneously blood supply. And families should be aware of basic life support, so cardiac compression will help for the sustaining the blood supply to the brain, so the brain does not get blocked off or cut off with the blood supply. In emergency room, we have to notify the MRP, notify internal medicine as a storage, notify the family physician. Emergency room and medical directors for the labs and x-ray has to be done very fast. Prothrombin and partial thromboplastin time, if the patient requires the thrombolytic drugs, then state ECG has to be done. Repeat the ECG after thrombolytic agents are being given. If there is a variation in the ECG, if patient is trying to recover or not, portable chest x-ray can be done to find out if any kind of size variation or location. Then blood works has to be seen for that various enzymes or any kind of other chemical changes. Then ECGs are to be taken as ordered, and we have to continuously monitor so we can attach the leads, and chest x-ray if done in the emergency room. Other finer points can be rapid triage for anginal pain with the vital signs has to be seen. So brief targeted history has to be taken for the anginal pain. We have to notify the MD immediately if the ECG is positive. So we have seen about that an ST elevation or non-STEMI. We have to detect that readings through the waves. So for that we have to be aware how to read the ECG. Pain control with the opiates as ordered, so that can be again stimulating the oxygen supply if the pain is being controlled, so muscles or the cells can be relaxed. Assess for the contraindications, so allergic to the ASA or NSAID, so non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs we have to find out that if any kind of allergy is there. So we have to just take a concern, we have to monitor the patient, we have to see for any kind of other disorders like bleeding disorder, we have to see that any history of asthma. So because of asthma, again the lack of oxygen to the cells will be problematic. And then recent head injury is there or any stroke is there if in the patient. Cautious use of nitroglycerin, as we have initiated to give priorly, first drug of choice is we have to give the streptokinase or urokinase to the patient. So second thing, we are giving nitroglycerin. So we have to check that if patient is the right ventricular mi confirmed with V4R as they are dependent or for the preload for the cardiac output. So we have to check as such patient, we have to obstacle the nitroglycerin content. Then systolic bp is it not maintaining, so we have to take care of that. Heart rate is less than or 40 or it is greater than 150, and assess the effect of interventions and documents. Oxygen with angina, to keep the saturated oxygen 95%, we have to give the oxygen supply, we have to enhance the oxygen supply, start and maintain the IV as ordered, so fluid supply can be enough, cardiac output can be managed, continuous cardiac monitoring can be done, intake and output chart can be taken, thrombolytic protocols and parenteral nutrition has to be increased. So we have to see that whatever drugs we are giving, we have to give cautiously in myocardial infarction. We have to assess for the episodes of angina, how frequently it is occurring, what are the location, tolerance, activity, we have to see effectiveness of analgesics which is going on. Again, we have to see for the CPK enzymes, and we have to even check for the potassium levels and sodium levels. Potassium is being high in the blood in such cases. Start the nursing assessment, settle the uncomplicated MI. Nursing guidelines, we know that we have to manage the IV lines, activities, intolerance has to be managed, bed rest has to be given, bleeding precautions has to be done, bed rest until the angina free or hemodynamic stability is there. Then bed rest with the bedside commode and privileges has to be given. Bleeding precautions and parental nutrition can be seen. Nutrition has to be managed. Ice chips if no nausea is there, and fluids as tolerated. We have to consider for the thrombolytic therapy, antiplatelet therapy, as above the plaque there is a deposition of platelets, anticoagulation therapy. So if any kind of blood clot has been circulated in the microcapillaries, that can be removed, that can be thinned, and they can be passed through the blood vessel. Nitroglycerin parentally can be given, beta blockers unless contraindicated, analgesics or antiemetic as required. Then review the patient's own medication. So hope this is clear. We have to count down the pain scale. If it is more than rating 3, more than it is required, or pain is too much, then we have to give the analgesic or the opioids, inform the family for the patient's condition, advise the patient and the family for certain things. Expected length of stay can be told to the patient's family, and pain scale usage to notify that there is an anginal symptoms, how much uh, increased it is. Diet, stool softeners, so patient does not go with the strain and they can again trigger with the symptoms. Observe for the possible complications like ventricular tachycardia, ventricular fibrillation is there. So bleeding tendencies and stress, possible echocardiogram to be taken. After 24 hours in ICU also we have to follow the guidelines. So post on my patient in ICCU, intermediately we have to document all the activities, we have to see the CPK levels, and the treatment will be followed as the same, but we have to manage for the IV fluids also. Again, cardiac diet, medications, entry coated aspirin has to be given, because unless it is contraindicated, and heparin if it is applicable, nitroglycerin parenterally can be given, angina pain can be controlled. So consider beta blockers unless contraindicated. ACE inhibitor, as we know that angiotensin converting enzyme will convert angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2, and it will increase the contractile activity, and due to excessive exhaustion and contractile activity the cells may die. ensure the patient's own medications ordered as needed, offer the stool softener, and teaching discharge. So hope these things are clear with you. It is very easy. Lastly, in emergency action plan in chest pain, if person with unknown acute coronary syndrome, we have to recognize the signals of heart attack, stop the activity and sit in a, make them in a comfortable position so this myocardial tissues can retain their oxygen level. Wait for certain minutes like 5 minutes or the till the pain goes off. If the pain persists, then call for the emergency department because we need an emergency treatment. If the person is known with acute coronary syndrome, recognize the signals of the heart attack, stop the activities and totally make the patient lie down or sit in a comfortable position and give them nitroglycerin tablet at that time and at least 3 to 5 minutes interval to maximum 3 tablets we can give, and still if it is not being controlled we can call for the emergency department. So this is what we have read through the MI, and this is the end of the lecture. Thank you.